on the 6th day of Christmas, For Love of the Mouse gave to me delicious Pop-Tarts, just like in Disney. Welcome back, everybody. It is day 6 of 12 days of holiday baking with For Love of the Mouse. I am Crystal, one half of For Love of the Mouse. If you are new here, thank you so much for being here. We are super excited that you're here to bake with us today. You can either follow along right here on our vlog and bake with me here, or you can also pull up the corresponding blog post on fortheloveofthemouse.com. We will link our blog down below, and we will have step-by-step instructions of how to create this and all 12 of our delicious holiday masterpieces that we're bringing to you. Be sure that you click that subscribe button if you haven't already. Click that like button if you like what we're doing, and that bell notification so that you can be notified every time we release a video. So we've done several delicious recipes so far this series, if I do say so myself, and with this one we are halfway done. So why not do another fun Disney Bake With Me copycat recipe? And that's exactly what we're doing. I absolutely love the Pop-Tarts or Lunchbox Tarts from Woody's Lunchbox at Toy Story Land in Hollywood Studios. They are a must-have for me when they're open, and I cannot wait for Woody's Lunchbox to open again so that we can take part in these once more. They have a delicious lemon blueberry version of their Lunchbox Tart that we are going to recreate today. I have been perfecting this recipe now for a couple of years. I started making homemade Lunchbox Tarts when Toy Story Land first opened, and we came home and I said, I have to learn how to bake these at home. And so this is kind of a hybrid between a shortbread and a sugar cookie. I like this better than a traditional pie crust, which a lot of Lunchbox Tarts or Pop-Tarts use, because I like that little extra sweetness. So that's the dough we're going to make today. It's super simple, only a few ingredients, and this dough is very forgiving. Also, really great about this dough is, unlike most sugar cookie doughs or shortbread doughs, this dough doesn't need to chill, and it still doesn't spread. A lot of times you need to chill the dough so that it doesn't spread and make your whatever shape you're using all wonky. But these do not spread, and so these are going to be perfect for us today. Without further ado, let's get started. So one of the keys to this recipe, and one of the reasons we don't have to refrigerate it, is because unlike most recipes where I always tell you we are going to use room temperature ingredients, we are not today. We are using cold ingredients. So we are going to use 4 sticks of unsalted butter. You always want to bake with unsalted butter so that you can control the amount of salt you're adding to your baked goods. So we're going to add a little pinch of salt into this dough, but we want to start with unsalted butter. I've got my paddle attachment on my trusty pink mixer, and I'm just going to put the 4 sticks of butter right into the mixer. We also have our oven preheated to 325 degrees. We have our 4 sticks of butter into the mixer, cold butter, unsalted, and to that we are going to add 2 cups of granulated sugar. We're going to lock our mixer, and then we're going to cream it up. Our butter and sugar has been going for about 45 seconds, a minute. We're going to add a pinch of salt. Now, unlike when you're using room temperature butter, you're not going to want this to be completely creamed and fluffy. You want it to have a little bit of texture. Now, next up, we're going to add 2 cold eggs. Not feeling risky, you can crack your eggs into a separate bowl and then put them into your mixer. I'm playing it on the wild side today, and we're just going right in with it. We're going to beat those until it's incorporated. Next, we're going to go in with one of my absolute favorite ingredients. We are going in with vanilla bean paste. Now, if you don't have vanilla bean paste, no problem. You can absolutely just go in with some vanilla extract. Also, you can do half on vanilla extract and almond extract. That would be really delicious, especially with the lemon and blueberry. But if you're going to go in with vanilla bean paste, we're going to do about 2.5 teaspoons. I love the flavor of vanilla, so I'm actually going to go close to 3 teaspoons on this one. If you're going to use vanilla extract, go ahead and add a tablespoon, maybe a tablespoon and a splash. We're going to incorporate that. And then last but not least, we're going to add 6 cups of flour. Now, I always say to sift your flour. I'm not sifting today. But if you do have a sifter, I do recommend sifting your flour first. It just creates a much lighter, fluffier dough. After each cup, slowly mix it in so that you don't get a cloud of flour erupting all over your face and your clothes, which is normally what happens to me. And we're just gonna go ahead and add all 6 cups. We have our finished dough all ready to go. It's going to be crumbly, so this is not going to be a smooth pulled together dough. It's going to be quite crumbly. So what we want to do is we're going to take some of our dough and we're going to put it into a ball. Now we're not going to be working with all of our dough at one time. So although I said that this dough doesn't need to be refrigerated because we're going to go straight in with it, what we're not going to use first, I am going to toss into the fridge so that it stays chilled. So we've got our packed dough here. We're gonna lightly flour our surface and we're going to roll it out. So we are back and we have rolled out and cut out some of our dough. We've probably gone through about half of the dough. So you want to remember that you need 2 pieces to make one Pop-Tart or lunchbox tart, because we are going to sandwich them together with filling. And so you're going to want to use a bigger cookie cutter. For this, we have used a really cute Mickey cookie cutter. I've used rectangles before, I've used hearts at Valentine's Day, I've used Christmas trees. You do want to use something a little bit bigger because you're going to, like I said, stack it, and you're also going to crimp the edges. So a bigger cookie cutter is going to work better. You can really go whichever direction you want. For these, we are going to use lemon curd and blueberry pie filling. I have done chocolate hazelnut spread in the past. I've done peanut butter and jelly. I've done cherry with chocolate. I've done so many different things and they've all been delicious. We also have a really good pumpkin one over on our blog that we'll link below for you to check out. It's a pumpkin marshmallow filling. It was delicious. But we are doing lemon blueberry today. So I have 2 little spoons here, but you're going to want about half of a teaspoon of each into each center. And then we're going to top it with another cookie, and then we're going to crimp it with a fork and brush a little bit of egg wash on it. All egg wash is an egg beaten up, and we're going to brush that on the top to make it glossy. But you don't have to do that if you don't want to, because we are going to top these with an icing at the end. So I'm going to get a little bit of our lemon and spread that out just a little bit. You don't want it to go all the way to the edges because you are going to have to crimp it. And then a little bit of the blueberry. I'm then going to top it. You want to press down. And then we're going to go in with our fork and crimp the edges. Now this is going to ensure that when you bake, they don't come apart. And that's another reason why you don't want to fill these too full. I've already filled this one a little too full, because the filling will come out while you're baking. So we're gonna do a little bit less filling in the next one, but we're just going to continue on filling these until we are completely done. And then we are going to bake these in a 325-degree oven for about 10 minutes, maybe a little bit longer if you have a thicker dough and you want them to be golden brown but not overdone. I like mine to be pretty soft still. So I'm going to continue filling these, topping them and crimping them, and then we will pop them into the oven. Pop-Tarts out of the oven. They are delicious looking, and I ended up baking these were a little bit thicker, so I ended up baking these for about 16 or 17 minutes, and they actually could have probably stayed in for a few more minutes, but these, like I said, are pretty thick, so if you're rolling your dough thinner, definitely watch that and just pull them out when you think that they're starting to become golden brown. I whipped up a really quick and simple royal icing recipe. This is Not the royal icing that I typically use on my sugar cookies when I'm doing intricate decorating, but it works perfectly fine for these and is much easier to make. So all this is a cup and a half of powdered sugar, and then in a separate bowl I had 2 tablespoons of hot water mixed with a tablespoon and a half of light corn syrup and about a half of a tablespoon of vanilla extract. Now if you have the clear vanilla, that works the best, but if you're going to dye it like I did, I made it a nice bright yellow for the lemon blueberry, then it really doesn't matter if you use the brown vanilla extract or the clear vanilla extract. But if you're going to leave it white, I definitely recommend using clear vanilla extract. So I dissolved the corn syrup and the water with the vanilla extract in a bowl, just stirred it around until it was dissolved, and then I added it to the powdered sugar and just stirred it up until it was completely mixed together and smooth. I then added some yellow food coloring and made it this bright sunny yellow, perfect for the lemon blueberry tarts. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a spoon and I'm just going to ice these. I am not being intricate, I am not being precise, I am just covering them with this delicious royal icing. Now the great thing about royal icing is that it's going to harden, and so I'm making sure that I have this on a Silpat mat so that if any extra leaks off, it is not on my countertop, but is instead on the mat, which is easily cleaned. So I'm just going to go through and ice each of these. You are more than welcome to do an intricate design. You can definitely outline the edges and then flood the center, which will give it a much more polished look. So if you're going to do that, I definitely recommend getting either a squeeze bottle with a nice fine tip, or not a fine tip, probably a medium tip, or a pastry bag. And what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to outline where you want the icing to be, so the cookie, let it dry for just a little bit, and then you can flood the center with the remaining icing. Now that's going to give it a much more polished look, but I'm just going to dirty ice these so that they are going to look rustic, as the Pioneer woman would say, which is perfectly fine by me. So I'm just going to finish icing these. I'm going to let them harden and they will be done. And there you have it. We have finished day 6 of 12 days of holiday baking with our delicious and Disney-fied lemon blueberry Pop-Tarts. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I hope that you make your own Pop-Tarts at home. This brings us to halfway through with our 12 days of baking, and I hope that you're having as much fun as me. I hope that you are getting some really great ideas for baking this holiday season. Baking, as I've said in many of the videos we've filmed so far, baking is such a family tradition for me. I grew up baking with my grandma, and so bringing the holiday baking into our home really brings my grandmother back into the holidays for me. I would love to hear in the comments what some of your favorite holiday memories are, some of your favorite holiday traditions, and I would also love to hear some of your favorite holiday cookies to make, because maybe I will have to try them myself. If you're new around here, make sure that you click that subscribe button, click that like button if you like what we're doing, and don't forget to click that bell notification, because we have 6 more days of holiday baking coming your way, and so many other fun holiday and other videos. Don't forget to check out the blog post for detailed instructions on how to make each of these recipes, including our lemon blueberry Pop-Tarts. And that's going to do it for us today. Happy holidays, everyone, from our family to yours. Thank you so much for stopping by, and for the love of the mouse, never forget that it all started with a mouse.